Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here, and welcome back to 31 days of December. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and whatever else you celebrate. It is Christmas Day, and I thought I would take the time while my roommate is in the kitchen cooking our lovely Jigs dinner to record this video for you and just do something nice and simple. And I'm going to read 5 scary but true Christmas stories, and I hope you enjoy them. So, the first Christmas story is called The Bright Light and the Calming Watchdog. I had an unusual visitor on Christmas Day, 2008, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't Santa Claus passing by my house in Bloomington, Indiana. The day started in typical fashion with the opening of gifts around the Christmas tree. I served an early Christmas dinner for family and friends, and everybody departed by 5 p.m., except my sister and brother-in-law who live with me. They were sleeping in a bedroom at the end of the hall with the door open. I went into my bedroom with my dog, Toby, and shut the door securely. I was just dozing off when I heard the latch on my bedroom door open. I waited several seconds for my sister or brother-in-law to ask me whatever they came in to say, but there was no other sound. It was almost 7 p.m., so my bedroom was pitch black. I had left lights on in the kitchen and the bathroom, and there were lots of Christmas lights in the living room, so the hallway would have been well lit. I would be able to see whoever was at the door just by lifting my head. I pushed the blankets down and lifted my head from the pillow, but just as I would have been able to see who was in the doorway, an extremely bright light hit me right in the eyes. I shielded my eyes and yelled, "Turn that light off, you're blinding me." The light immediately disappeared, and I heard the bedroom door latch closed. My bedside light is a touch lamp, so I tapped on it and looked around the bedroom. There was nobody except me and Toby. Toby jumped off the bed and went to the door without showing any signs of alarm. At first, I wasn't frightened because Toby is a Dutch Shepherd, well trained to be an excellent watchdog and proven personal protection dog. Since Toby was already up, I decided to let him go outside and see what sis or brother-in-law needed. When I went into the hallway, I could see both of them still in bed. I took Toby to the living room to let him outside, and there was nobody there either. So who opened my bedroom door and turned a spotlight on me? Like most people, the thoughts of loved ones are always close at hand during the holiday season. When I first went to lie down, I was thinking how happy I was that my small family had enjoyed a pleasant Christmas, but it would have been so much better if my mother and brother had still been alive to share it with us. I would like to think it was my brother's spirits stopping by to say Merry Christmas. I still think of you too. I haven't been able to debunk the strange event or find any kind of explanation. I'm half afraid that my heart stopped during my sleep and the light I saw was the bright light people report after near-death experiences. Leave it to me to see the stairway of heaven and ruin my chance at eternal paradise by saying, "Turn that light off." I've made a mental note that if I ever see a bright light again, to clean up my language, just in case. The Returned Relative. It was Christmas time of 95 or 96 at my aunt's house on a reservation in North Dakota. Some of my family was in the living room watching television. The kids were playing in the rooms or sleeping, and my uncle, aunt, and I were sitting at the table putting a puzzle together. My cousin who worked at a casino would come home around midnight or 1 a.m. This night, as she pulled up and was walking toward the house, she looked in the window and saw me sitting at the table, my uncle sitting across from me, and somebody standing to the left of me and someone standing in the corner. So she continued to walk into the house thinking nothing of it. As we were sitting at the table talking, she looked at me and asked who was standing next to me a few minutes ago and who was in the corner. I told her no one, and she said, "Yeah, there was somebody standing next to you. It looked like your mom. She was playing with your hair. I have long hair, and I used to wear it down all the time." She said this person was running her hand on my head like a mother does to a child. It kind of freaked me out. Being as I was only 12 or 13 at the time, my cousin swears up and down that somebody was standing over me, rubbing my head and watching me put the puzzle together with my aunt and uncle. And that there was another person standing behind this person. We got around to thinking it was probably her mom she saw. She passed away on her birthday a week before Christmas back in '92. In my family, we consider our aunts and uncles to be just like our moms and dads. After thinking that it could have been her, it didn't scare me so much. However, we couldn't figure out who the person was standing in the corner. And always around Christmas time, something strange always happens. And we just think that it's her visiting us. The haunted tree. My parents and I lived in a small home that was around 90 years old. The year would have been 1996. We lived there from the time I was 7 to the time I was 19. From the very day that we moved in, I felt that I was not alone. One year, around Christmas time, I was having a friend spend the night. The heat had just shut off briefly, and she and I were sitting in the living room, watching television, when the temperature dropped substantially. As I rose to turn up the heat, the Christmas tree began to shake violently. Ornaments were falling off left and right, and she and I were terrified. We ran upstairs, lay down on my bed. My white cat curled up with us, and my door was open slightly. When I gazed out at the dark hallway, I was horrified to see a tall white figure run down the hall. I turned to my friend, and she acknowledged that she had seen the exact same thing. She never spent the night again. The figure in the recliner. My mother, to whom I was very close, passed away in 1964 when I was 17. I left home that year and moved to Ontario from Nova Scotia. In 1969, I met a girl whom I will call Karen, and we got married in March of 1970. In December of 1971, we were expecting our first child. We were living in a small 1.5 bedroom bungalow. There was a fireplace in the living room. My wife and I loved the fireplace, and we had it lit every night. It was Christmas Eve of 1971, and we had just finished putting the gifts under the tree, and a nice fire gave off a beautiful glow. On the tree, one string of lights, which was supposed to flash, had stopped several days before. It was 5 minutes to midnight when the fireplace suddenly just about went out, and the string of lights started to flash, and then the other lights stopped flashing. My wife and I were sitting on the floor, and it had become very chilly. I looked over to my lazy boy chair, and a figure was sitting there. My mother, with a big, beautiful smile on her face. My wife, who had never met my mother, said she could see the same thing. This ghost never spoke, but just kept looking at me and my wife and smiling. At 12 midnight, the fire in the fireplace started up again, and the lights on the tree stopped flashing, and the others started flashing again. I looked over in the chair, and the ghost was gone. No matter what I did to those Christmas lights, they never flashed again. The Ghostly Christmas Choir. On Christmas Eve night, 1978, at about 3 a.m. in Calumet Falls, Oregon, I was suddenly awakened by a choir singing. The house was new construction, miles from the nearest church. I strained to hear any words that I could understand, or a tune that I could identify. But I could not understand the language or the tune. I did get a feeling of angelic exultation, reverence, and gladness of heart. This was truly a heavenly choir, lifting their voices on high, singing Hosanna in the highest and in an unknown tongue, without accompaniment of instruments. I examined the television, but it was turned off, as was the radio. I explored outside, but the singing was not heard outdoors. The way the countless male, female, and children's voices entwined together, the tonals going from operatic highs to the deepest bass voices in perfect harmony, it lasted about 10 minutes, but it was touching for an eternity. That's the last one. Those are all really great stories. I think they are absolutely sweet. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful Christmas day and that you enjoy your food no matter what it is and do whatever you feel like doing because, let's face it, we all have the day off. I'm going to go and check on the food because it is filling up the house with wonderful smells. I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Please don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below if you have a Christmas story you would like to share, and don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, because I will be uploading for the rest of December and I will be back in the new year. Bye, guys.